Beginning, the Forgotten Chamber. The starship Ecliptica drifted silently through the dark reaches of the Perseus Arm, its hull scarred from centuries of travel. Inside, the air was filtered, cold, and ancient. The ship's systems had long since been automated, maintained by the Ilari, a race of crystalline, bioluminescent beings who had inherited the vessel from an extinct civilization they barely understood. On this particular rotation cycle, Technician Vera was overseeing a new assignment to catalog the precursor pods deep within Section 9. The pods were old, predating Ilari civilization by thousands of years. They were massive cryogenic cylinders, etched with human symbols that the Ilari could not decipher. Most of the pods were empty or dead, but pod number 47 still had power. Bioreadings, Vera asked, her translucent fingers tapping the hollow console. Minimal, replied her assistant, Lauren, in his quiet, melodic tone. Faint metabolic activity. Whatever's in there still lives. That was rare. The Ilari had found hundreds of relics left behind by the ancient species called humans, warriors, colonists, explorers who vanished when the Great Collapse ended their empire. Some Ilari historians even believed humans had once ruled the stars. Command will want this one awake, Vera murmured, for study. And so, with authorization from the High Curator, the pod was reactivated. Energy conduits pulsed to life. The frost on the cylinder melted, revealing a tall, broad figure suspended in blue light, muscles hardened, veins faintly glowing with cryo-stabilizing nanofluids. When the glass hissed open, warm mist poured out. A man fell to his knees. His skin was scarred, his breath ragged. His eyes, piercing gray, darted around the chamber, sharp and alive. Vera stepped forward, her crystalline form shimmering. Welcome, human. You are aboard the Ecliptica and Ilari research. He moved faster than she could register. In one motion, he lunged, grabbed her wrist, and twisted, not out of violence, but instinct. His reflexes were predatory, honed by something primal. Where am I? He demanded, voice deep, hoarse from centuries of sleep. Lauren raised his hands in peace. You're safe, human. You have been in cryostasis for approximately 2,000 cycles. The man blinked. 2,000 years? The chamber fell silent. Middle, the awakening of Captain Raine. They called him Captain Jonathan Raine. According to the recovered ship logs, he had once commanded the Horizon Lance, a Terran battlecruiser during the War of the Rift, a conflict that nearly destroyed the human species. His ship was crippled in combat and lost in deep space. Only he had survived in cryosleep. The Ilari, ever curious, offered Raine's sanctuary. They ran tests, analyzed his physiology, and marveled at his biology. Compared to them, delicate beings of silicon and light, the human was a monster of endurance. His bone density is 4 times ours, whispered Vera, scanning the results. His muscle fibers can generate enough force to bend plasteel. His neural speed, astonishing. He is primitive, said Curator Thal, the head of research, and dangerous. Limit his freedom. But Vera disagreed. He's intelligent, aware, not an animal. And indeed, Raine seemed calm. In his quarters, he studied holograms of the Ilari cities, vast crystal metropolises floating above molten seas. He asked questions about their science, their philosophy, their history. What happened to my people? He asked one day. They vanished, Vera answered softly. No human worlds remain habitable. The Terran Empire collapsed in the rift storms. Raine looked away, jaw tight. Then I'm the last. Days turned into weeks. Raine adapted fast, too fast. He learned Ilari language in a matter of days, memorized their ship layouts, and began training in the zero-gravity arenas. The guards watched him with awe and fear. Once, during a malfunction, a reactor core nearly breached. A 20-ton blast door jammed, and Raine, with a roar, tore it open barehanded to vent the plasma chamber. The crew survived. He became a hero overnight. But the curator grew uneasy. His strength is not natural, Thal said during council. Even for a human. What if this is why his kind fell? They were too powerful to control. Yet the universe had other plans. The invasion. It began with a tremor. The Ecliptica's long-range sensors detected an approaching fleet. Hundreds of ships, dark and jagged, emitting distortion fields that ate light. "The Varn Dominion," whispered Vera. "They found us." The Varn were an ancient enemy, a species that consumed star systems, feeding off planetary cores. The Ilari's shimmering weapons barely slowed them. The Ecliptica tried to flee, but the Varn fleet intercepted. Boarding pods struck the hull. Alarms howled. "Evacuate civilians," Vera shouted. Raine appeared beside her, armored in scavenged plating. "Give me a weapon." "We cannot ask you." "You don't have to." He grabbed a plasma rifle from a fallen guard. The corridors burned with blue fire. Ilari soldiers fell, their crystalline bodies shattering under Varn disruptors. When the first Varn warrior stormed in, a towering insectoid brute, Raine met it head-on. The plasma rifle hissed, vaporizing its carapace, but more poured in. He dropped the rifle, grabbed a shard of hull metal, and fought like a demon. To the Ilari, the human became a blur, dodging, striking, tearing through monsters twice his size. Each movement was instinct, born of centuries of warfare coded into his DNA. By the time Vera caught up, the corridor was littered with Varn corpses. Raine was drenched in alien ichor, breathing hard. "They want your ship," he growled. "They'll take your core, your people, unless we stop them." Thal appeared on the comms, trembling. "Human, you cannot defeat an armada." Raine stared into the nearest holoscreen. "Watch me." Middle climax, the human war instinct. The Ilari had never seen war like this. Raine took command of the ship's defenses, rewiring systems the Ilari engineers couldn't even comprehend. "Your energy grids are scattered," he muttered. "You're wasting power on illumination systems. Reroute everything to forward cannons. But our crystals will destabilize. Then let them. Better broken than dead." He marched across the bridge, issuing commands like he had never stopped being a captain. His voice carried authority, precision, and fire. When the Varn launched a boarding wave, Raine led the counterattack. He armed the Ilari with improvised weapons, sharpened energy rods, converted mining tools, even stripped down reactor coils. They fought side by side. The crystalline beings, once fragile scholars, now fought like soldiers inspired by the lone human among them. Every time the Varn pushed forward, Raine was there, unstoppable, indomitable. When a plasma grenade exploded near him, he stood back up. When his armor melted, he kept fighting. It wasn't just strength. It was will, the human will that had once bent galaxies to its ambition. Turning point, the core decision. Despite their efforts, the Ecliptica was dying. The main core was overheating. The ship couldn't outrun the Dominion fleet. Thal ordered evacuation to the escape pods. But Vera stayed. "We can't leave," she said to Raine. "The Dominion will follow. They'll find our homeworld next." Raine looked at the glowing energy core, pulsing, unstable. "Then we end it here." Vera's eyes widened. "You mean to detonate the ship?"